Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com. Here's hour 2 of the Kim Komando Show. You're going to love it. You know, every once in a while I'm astounded at these things that just cross my screen every single day. A new study from the University of Maryland and Microsoft just found out which language AI actually understands the best. And guess what? It's not English. English came in 6th. The number 1 is Polish. That's right. Polish is one of the most difficult languages for us to learn. They say because Polish is super precise and English, we have a lot of wiggle room because we have different words that will mean different meanings and all that other good stuff. So I was thinking maybe we should call it Chat GPT ski. What do you think? That would work, right? But why do Polish people have SKI at the end of their names? You know why? Yes, tremendous research goes into this answer because they can't spell toboggan. Oh, womp womp. Hey, on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, because you just tapped into America's largest, best, award-winning, biggest show about all things digital. I'm, of course, America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. You know, and my job is to make sure that you are always tech ahead and never left behind in the digital dust. And you can find my award-winning show in over 425 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Komando with a K, of course. And if you're more into the visual types, well, what you want to do is go to youtube.com/Kim Komando, and that's where you can actually watch the show. And do me a huge favor, over at YouTube, just hit that big old subscribe button, because this way you get alerted whenever we drop new shorts and reels and shows and good things like that. And in addition to that, it helps us kind of play with the algorithms a little bit. So every time you like or comment or share or subscribe, it tells more people that, hey, you know what? Other people might like to see this too. And a big thank you goes out to all of our veterans, yes, and the men and women who are tuning in on the American Forces Network Radio. 375,000 service members listening in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea.
I turned off news altogether.
I hate to say it, but I don't trust much of anything.
It's the rage bait.
It feels like it's trying to divide people.
If we got clear facts, maybe we could calm down a little.
NBC News brings you clear reporting. Let's meet at the facts. Let's move forward from there. NBC News, reporting for America.
You know, every single day I dive into at least 30, 40 different sources to make sure I know exactly what's happening in the tech space. And here are 5 things that you need to know about. And we're going to start with, I'm often asked why Facebook and Instagram, they don't really do much to stop the bad stuff on their whole platforms. I'm talking about the scam ads, the banned goods, the fraud, the deep fakes. I get calls from people who are scammed on these platforms all the time, it seems like. And then more often when they report the scam, they just get ignored. Well, we know why now. Get this. Meta makes money off of the scam, but just how much has remained a mystery. Well, listen to this and prepare to be shocked. Documents found by Reuters show that Meta earned 10%, 10% of its total 2024 revenue from scam ads and banned goods. $16 billion. Wow. On average, the company knowingly promotes 15 billion ads that show scam signs every single day. Now, just 4 of these ad campaigns removed by Meta earlier this year were responsible for $67 million in monthly advertising revenue. Wow. 10%. Boy, there you go, Meta. Talk about good corporate citizenship. Way to go, Mark. Moving on to number 2, Sam Altman and Elon Musk, they don't get along. They co-founded OpenAI together back in 2015. They split, and now they keep giving each other jabs publicly back and forth. It's it is like a boxing match. So this past week, it was public on X. Sam Altman apparently in 2018 put $45,000 deposit down on a Tesla Roadster. And he's like, you know what? You're never coming out with this car. I want my money back. And then he sent an email to the confirmation email to the one that he got asking for a refund. And then it turned out mail return address unknown. So, of course, he posted that on X too. So Elon Musk jumps in and says, yeah, thanks, Sam. You stole from a nonprofit, and adds that the issue is fixed. And Sam, you're going to get your refund, $45,000 in 24 hours. And then Sam fires back, I helped turn the thing you left for dead into what should be the largest nonprofit ever. And then he points out that Musk wanted Tesla to buy OpenAI. This is like 2 billionaires just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then finally, Elon Musk says, you know what? I have this unbelievable announcement coming on the Tesla Roadster. And we all sat back and said, what is it? What is it, Elon? He says, and he claims it's going to be a flying car. That's right. Someday soon. Let's see. I want you to get a load of this story out of Chicago. A homeowner, Rosanna Castillo, pays her premiums to Allstate Insurance. She's never filed any claims, no problems, nothing. She's just the perfect customer. Last month, she got a letter from Allstate, a threat to drop her coverage. She has to pay $18,000 for a new roof or her coverage is gone. They gave her a month and a half notice to do this. On what justification, you might be wondering? Allstate used Google Earth to find pictures of her roof. And from those pictures in space, Allstate said her roof was suffering granular loss. What? Oh, it wasn't even a drone. It was a Google Earth photo. Way to go, Allstate. Here are some tech updates you need to know about. There's a new wearable that literally talks back. It's called the Stream Ring. It's from a company called Sandbar. It's an AI-powered smart ring that you can whisper to. You wear it and you whisper to it. So you don't have to say like, hey, Google, hey, Siri. Just here, listen.
Why do I still feel stuck? Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Sometimes when you're stuck, you've just got to row, row, row your boat gently down the...
Wow. I want that right now. God said nobody. About $250 for the silver, $300 for the gold model. Hello, Ring. I want you to know my butt is so firm and lifted since I've been doing Pilates for over a year. Oh, thank you, Kim. Yes, I can see that. So stupid. Speaking of inner monologue, Anthropic says that Claude Opus, Claude Sonnet, it can now reflect on how they think. Researchers call it introspective awareness. I don't know if we need that. And finally, this from Google Maps. Gemini AI got a massive upgrade. I actually think this is cool. I would use this because as you're driving along on Google Maps, you can say, hey, where's the best vegan restaurant near here? Or where should I park? Or is there underground parking or public parking or whatever it may be? And then it also checks out your Google Calendar and puts an address on where you ever need to be right inside Google Maps. I think that's really something. And finally, this. I read some research out of Cornell University. Scammers are now using AI photos to create fake car accidents. I'm talking about crash photos, damage reports, fake driver's license, all crafted by AI in minutes. You see, the fraudsters are submitting fake claims to insurance companies, and then they're getting paid out. The tech is so good that humans and AI directors can't figure out what's real and what's not. So insurance companies are starting to crack down. So here's the deal. If you get into a car accident, I want you to Make sure that you take lots of photos from every angle, close-ups, videos, narrate what happened, get timestamps on all your files. You want to get witness names, phone numbers while they're still around too. And if you can get a dash cam, we have 3 picks over at commando.com. One is like $84. It's on deep discount, and it's actually a really, really good one. So head over to commando.com for that. We're going to talk about how you can make money as an Amazon influencer. We have some tricks to spot a bad doctor online, a QR code scam that's spreading like crazy. And of course, we have just the best callers ever. And you have me, Kim Commando, so stay right where you are. Hey, I want you to mark your calendar starting on November 22nd and then running through the weekend of December 13th. It's my Christmas cash giveaway. Sandra, we need a nice sound effect for that. There you go. And that means every caller to the show will win an Amazon gift card. I'm talking about $100, $250, $500. And if you get the current newsletter, the official newsletter of the Kim Commando Show, every single day, somebody's also going to be winning a $100 gift card, $250, $500. And then we have the grand prize giveaway, a $1,000 gift card, or maybe even more. That's a little teaser for you. So here's what I want you to do. Mark your calendars, as I mentioned, and also be sure that you get my newsletter. Sign up right now at getkim.com. That's getkim.com. Byron in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us.
Oh, good afternoon. How are you doing today, Kim?
Wonderful, wonderful. You have a great voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So I understand that you are a professional pilot?
That's correct. I fly for an airline, and I was listening to your show and read your article on AI for aircraft, and I responded to it because I find it very concerning. I don't think I'd get on one of those. Well,
we're talking about planes that don't have any human pilots, right?
Exactly.
Yes. But there's a guy or gal on the ground that's controlling it kind of like a joystick. I remember reading your note because I was astounded by the number of hours of flight time that you have. 30,000. That's incredible.
Well, I started when I was 14 years old. I sold a glider.
Oh, did you?
And I came out of high school with my flight instructor certificates. I was a little motivated. I enjoyed it way too much.
Wow. And so what is your concern?
I've seen way too many computer issues and it just takes a little anomaly. You get, bad electron going through or whatever, power interruption, other things. And I've had communication errors as well along the way, both with voice and with some of the newer, like our CPDLC, the controller pilot data links, and other more advanced communication systems where we revert back to basically an HF radio.
Wow.
And things happen. It's not perfect. It's a man-made machine. Having 2 cognitively aware pilots up there that can analyze situations as they come along and solve it and make a good execution that gets you on the ground safely.
For sure.
That's more important. And doing it remotely, you lose a lot. What if the data feed is down? What if you're not getting all of the information? And there's more to it than just reading a gauge. It's looking at the overall picture along with the feel of the aircraft. And that tells a lot, as well as everything else, especially when you're using the flight controls and, understanding how the airplane is responding directly, both with the instrumentation and visually looking out the window.
So have you ever run into an emergency situation while you're flying?
Oh, yeah, a few.
And
all those years, yeah, I've had a few.
And so which one comes to mind that if it was somebody on the ground with a joystick that you're like, there's no way that ever would have survived?
This was an older airplane. I was flying an F-27, and we were out going just Detroit over to Erie, Pennsylvania. Very quick flight, very short. Fortunately, it was a nice night, but all of the entire electrical system on the airplane went blank. Everything died. We had no lights.
Oh, gosh.
I had no instrumentation. I'm now looking out the window and using the horizon to keep us level. We didn't have any radios. The airplane was dead, and we started hunting. Flashlights came out. The first officer was out. He's looking at the circuit breakers in the back. We were trying to figure out how could everything go bad. And in about 10 minutes, it came back. And everything, the horizons didn't work. They'd spun down, and the gyros don't work that well then. But we were able to successfully go into Erie. We were pretty close. And the airplane sat there for 3 days as they tracked down the problem with maintenance. They tore the airplane apart. And they did find it finally, and they got it repaired. But, imagine if that's your data link to that aircraft.
Gosh.
And,
Wow.
yeah, everything goes blank, and the airplanes, they work a lot, and they're in a very extreme environment at times. We're going up where, you've got
storms.
with the weather and everything. And there's, again, visually asserting the radar is one aspect of looking at getting around the weather. But you're also looking and seeing how it's growing, what it looks like, the movement, and the radar may or may not give you the total picture. You've got to, again, be looking, and, we can do it in the clouds, and I've done that before, too, but it's not as good. And, you start getting those ripples and the feeling as you're approaching, and you go, okay, this is a little too close. You don't get that sitting in an office with a joystick.
Yeah, no, it's just, I guess my husband's a flight instructor, and he's actually started with gliders, too, by the way. And, I'm in a plane probably, I bet you I'm in a plane at least once every 2 weeks. And, I've been in where they've lost an engine, and I would never get in a plane that was fully automated. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah. Now, what about a self-driving car, real quick? Yes or no?
It doesn't have the same, it's not in a 3D environment. I'm a little trepidatious. A friend of mine has a Tesla, and I've ridden with him using the auto drive.
Oh, that doesn't work.
And
that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work at all. Oh my God.
I've
turned down the self-driving taxis when we've been in cities and we call for a cab and it shows up and nobody in it. It's like, no, I'm not doing this.
I'll stick to a stinky Uber with the guy who wants to have a conversation.
I'll walk.
Yeah, or I'll walk. Hey, Byron, thanks for coming on the show and giving us your perspective as a pilot. Let me tell you something. 30,000 hours is huge. Okay. A commercial airline pilot probably retires with 20,000 or 25,000 hours. So, having a gentleman here with that type of expertise really does make a difference as far as his opinions go, because he knows what's going on. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise: home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. All right, how about becoming an Amazon influencer to make some money? If you like to buy stuff online, you're great at social media, and you want to make some money on a side hustle, you can get your own Amazon storefront where you can create and share content about products, especially this time of year, because everybody's on Amazon buying everything. You make review videos, you do demos, you do blog posts, and then here's how it works. If someone uses your link to make a purchase, you earn a commission, maybe up to 10% per sale, but normally it's a lot lower than that. So if just 10 of your followers each buy a $100 product, you just made $100 yourself. So if you want to apply, you can sign up directly over on Amazon's site. Let's see. Still to come, we're going to be talking about tricks to spot a bad doctor by using a special website online. And then later on, a QR code scam that's spreading like crazy. And right now we have Bruce in Seattle, Washington. Hi there, Bruce. Welcome aboard.
Hi, thank you, Kim. Well, Kim, I just want to say I've been listening to you since I can't remember when, and I am known in my family as the tech god.
Yes.
Not goddess, but I have to give credit to you for having taught me a lot of my tech knowledge.
Oh, well, that's sweet of you. But something didn't go right, or else you wouldn't be calling me. So what's going on?
Yeah, I wrote in because of a fiasco I had just about 2 years ago, exactly, November of 2023. While living down in Colombia, South America, I was visiting a friend of mine who had a little bar and cafeteria and having a couple beers there, and a couple of women motioned me over to sit at their table. They gave me a sob story. They needed a place to stay. They had missed their buses. I offered them a place to stay at my house on a fold-out bed. Well, long story short, they drugged me with a drug called scopolamine, and while I was out for about 8 hours,
wow,
they stole my desktop computer, 2 laptops, my iPad, my Samsung tablet, my Samsung phone, Bluetooth speakers, all my money. Got in, took a couple of credit cards, started charging stuff up on the internet.
So they just wipe you out.
Yeah, and my own fault. I violated number 1 rule of living in Colombia: never, ever, ever let a stranger into your house. That being said, I never have felt threatened by a woman, let alone 2 women in my life. But I didn't see it coming. Let my guard down. Thought I was doing a good deed to give them.
Trying to help. Yeah, you were trying to help them.
Yeah, I was. Quite honestly, the majority of the drugging muggings, I'll call them, are done with this drug scopolamine, but the majority of them in Colombia are done in bars, mostly guys looking for love in all the wrong places. In this case, I was an exception, but the nitty-gritty of my question is, I thought I was so clever in heating all the device ends in protecting myself using 2-factor authentication. I had every one of my 5 devices or 6 all networked together or interconnected using 2-factor authentication. So when I woke up that next morning, recognizing that all my stuff was stolen, it took me, I realized I couldn't get into my Gmail account, and it actually took me 3 months. I would go up to an internet cafe to use a computer to try to communicate. I even use, while I'm down there, Google Voice.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's smart until you get locked out of your Gmail account, because each Google Voice number, if I understand it correctly, is connected to its own Gmail account. So I was locked out of that for 3 months. Couldn't call my family and let them know, what had happened, yada, yada, yada. And of course, no one could ever anticipate getting all of their devices stolen at one time. And that's what made it so tricky. And that's my question is how, given that I'm hoping to go back down in the next few months, I don't want to repeat the same error.
Well, you know what? If 2 women come to you in a bar and say they need help. If one woman, Bruce, if a man, anybody, a dog, somebody, you just need to...
Don't take them home.
Yes, do not take anybody home. Nobody, nobody.
That was the easy lesson to learn.
Now this is, but seriously, you're lucky that nothing worse happened to you, right? Think about it.
Well, Kim, I would say I am so blessed that I even woke up, because all you have to do is get on YouTube, look up scopolamine in Colombia. You will find dozens of similar stories, but many where guys somehow fell off their balcony in the high-rise hotel in downtown Medellin or some other city in Colombia.
It's awful. It is. It's awful. Well, let me tell you what you can do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is that if you're going to a place like that, maybe you don't always bring your primary phone. You use a burner phone, you have a backup phone, and then you start cutting off these connections, because once they got into one device, they could lock you out of basically all your other devices. Instead of using 2-factor authentication, what I use is the Google Authenticator app.
I've got it.
Okay, and that works on Wi-Fi, so you don't even need a cell connection. It just keeps working.
Okay, right.
And so I actually have an older phone that I keep just because the Google Authenticator app is running on that all the time. And so if something were to happen, then I still would have access to the Google Authenticator app.
Sure.
Now, your major accounts, like Gmail, they let you generate emergency recovery codes inside the settings. And so what you can do is print those out. So if, in fact, something happens again, you'll have that emergency recovery code right on your person.
Well, in this case, guess where I had all that stuff? Right on my desktop computer.
Excellent. Love that.
All my account names, passwords, you name it, which of course they stole.
Yeah. So you see, this is like a once in a trillion million, situation where you got wiped out of everything.
I did.
And so that's where, number one, you learned your lesson. You're never going to do anything like this again.
Nope.
Number two is when you travel, you're going to travel smarter. And it was probably easier because you brought something down one trip, then you brought another thing down the next trip, right?
Yeah.
The next trip, and then suddenly you're looking at yourself and you're like, whoa, I mean, I've got, $4,000 worth of gear sitting right here. That in Colombia is a crap load of money.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the average smartphone nowadays, and I think it was a Galaxy S24, is worth more than the average Colombian's monthly wage.
Yes, and so that's what you're dealing with, right? And that's what you
absolutely.
are. So absolutely. So you can also get a second email address just for account recovery. I mean, there are things that you can do along that. But I think the biggest lesson is just what we talked about is that we all want to be kind. We all want to be nice, but not everybody's kind and not everybody's nice. And especially when you're traveling in I don't want to say a third world country, but it's pretty close to it in Colombia, that you definitely need to keep your guard up. But, folks, I get the bottom line here is for anybody is to make sure that you are using not just two-factor authentication, but start looking at using the Google Authenticator app, so that this way it's just more secure than SMS codes, which obviously can be intercepted. Let's see. Joseph in Dallas, Texas. You're up next. Hi, Joseph.
Hey, how are you, Miss Commando?
I am fabulous, Mr. Joseph.
Right. Yeah. So they told me to get right to the question.
Well,
so now,
don't talk too much.
Say, so I listen to your podcast on a daily basis in one form or another. And I was thinking you've got you of Ukrainian descent. My last name is a 4-syllable Polish last name. And then you got, was it Babaluski, who's your co-host?
Andrew Babinski.
Babinski, okay.
Yes.
And so this is an Eastern European connection going right now.
That is true. That is true. We should be serving pierogies or something.
Yes, indeed. It's getting close that time of year, especially. So, anyway, my question, did you want me to?
Yeah, just tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I'm a bivocational Baptist preacher, and so I work as a truck driver to pay the bills, and then I'm involved in my church as a deacon and teacher, and so books are my life, and they have been for a long time. And so I've got 3 bookcases that are literally 4 feet by 8 feet wide.
Wow.
My dad made for me, and then I've got 2 others that are like 3 by 6. And it doesn't make me the biggest scholar in the world, but I've got my library. But I'm at the point where if I start buying books, sometimes it's like, wait a minute, do I have this one? I don't know. And I figured there's got to be an app that can be trusted. I'm on Team Android.
Okay.
An app I can trust that I can say, okay, here's the list of books where basically my thinking is take the barcode, use the Google Lens, scan that barcode into the app, and then it will categorize it. And so I know what I've got coming.
So then you have the title, the author, the cover art,
bingo,
everything that might be in there. How many books do you think you have, Joseph?
Well, stank. I'm just off the top of my head, 5,000.
Whoa, wow, that's a lot. That's awesome.
I mean, it's just a stab in the dark. Again, I get the bookcases, and I get everything from, I've got, personal improvement, I've got history, a lot of history. I got baseball history. I'm originally from a small town in Illinois. You might have heard of it, though, Chicago. I don't know if you've heard of that town.
You know what? I was just in Chicago last week.
Oh, yes. And that's where I used to listen to you when I was a kid
on
in
WLS.
college.
Yeah, you know, as a matter of fact, I went over to this station, WLS, to say hi. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, over there at 190 North State.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I always wondered how they got a teenage girl to be on a national radio show when I was back in the 90s.
You're so sweet. You are so sweet.
My mama taught me good, man.
I could tell. There's an app called LibIb, LIBIB. LibIb.
Okay.
Allows you to do exactly what you're talking about. You scan the barcode, it pulls in all the pertinent information, and then it's on Android, and then you can manage your collection across a whole bunch of devices too.
Oh, good. Good.
So, there are some other ones out there. If you don't like that one, try Library Thing, but I think you're probably going to really dig the LibIb or Library Thing.
Okay.
And but they all basically do the same thing, because you're gonna scan it, and then they're gonna take the metadata and then put it into a searchable database, so that this way you'll know exactly all the books that you have. Joseph, thank you for your call today, and what a nice person you are, and thanks for listening all those years. Yes, WLS in Chicago, Illinois, 890 AM, and I was there last week in Chicago, just emceeing the Radio Hall of Fame, where Martha Quinn and Colin Cowherd and Alice Cooper and a whole bunch of others got inducted into the Hall of Fame. It was just a blast. I had such a great time. All right, so you have to go to the doctor, wondering if he or she is okay, up to par. That's what you want to go to, certificationmatters.org. And you just type in your doctor's name, and you can see if your doctor's got into any legal trouble. Again, that's certificationmatters.org. All right, still to come, there's a QR code scam that's spreading like crazy I need to warn you about here on the Kim Komando Show.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
Carla in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome aboard, Carla. What's going on with you?
Hi, Kim. Just having a great day here in sunny, beautiful Atlanta, Georgia.
Yay.
I'm a longtime listener on WSB 95.5, and I'm recently added you to my morning reading with your newsletters, a free one, The Current.
Thank you.
And it's a wealth of information. It's awesome. I love reading it. I started thinking, though, how has AI affected how you do your job?
Radio, newsletter, managing, running a company.
Right.
All of the above, right?
Yes.
I use AI all day long. I use it to analyze legal documents, to write replies to emails, to come up with ideas for the newsletter.
Okay.
I have tried to have it write the newsletter, but it can't, because because if you read it, I want it to be like I'm talking to you, right?
Okay.
And it's easy for AI to write a story about AI fakes and fraud, but it's more difficult when it comes down into, let me tell you about it, and this is what happened to me type of thing. Where we are using AI in some customer service aspects, but not all, because Jackie, she's been with me for about 15 years, she does a lot of the customer service things, like having trouble finding the newsletter, getting the newsletter, things like that. I'm trying to embrace it as much as possible. I'm actually getting a couple of AI interns in January.
Oh, wow.
From Arizona State University, and where I'm going to ask them to help me automate some processes.
Okay.
I used AI to analyze the current statistics. So why do we have a 48% open rate on one day and a 39% the next day?
Sure.
So
interesting.
Does that answer your question?
It does. And I mean, I wondered, just from the standpoint of research, also, how much do you trust what you're getting back? The information that you're finding.
You know what? I authenticate everything. I might plug it into two or three chatbots.
Sure.
Or just put a sentence into Google to see what might pop up.
Right.
But it's a fascinating time that we're living in. Oh my gosh.
That's exactly it. Yes.
It is, for me, I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. I am so excited about AI. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I get people, Carla, because I read every comment that people send to me. I get people like, oh, Kim Commando, AI is going to be the death of us all. Why do you have to talk about AI so much? I'm like, yeah, we do. Because it's the world, buddy. Okay.
Right. It's so, it's changing so fast.
Yeah. Or it's the same, but I think that's the same guy who sends me a note that says, there was an ad in the newsletter today and you have too many ads. I'm like, well, okay. Well, how are we going to pay for it? Okay.
Right.
I mean, something's got to give. Unless you want to pay every single day, which I don't think you do. We have to have 1 or 2 ads in the newsletter every single day, which, by the way, if you're not getting the newsletter, sign up right now over at getkim.com. And Carla, thanks for your call. Coming right back, a QR code scam that's spreading. All right. So you get this box and you're like, I didn't order a thing from Amazon. And maybe it's a free salad spinner. And inside is a QR code on a piece of paper. And you're like, wonder what this is. So you scan the QR code with your phone and up pops a website that asks for some personal information. You put it all in, and guess what? That's when the scam starts. So if you get a box you didn't order, there's a QR code in the box, just say no, keep moving on. Hey, just a reminder, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone Air at winfromkim.com. That was the end of hour 2. Don't worry, there's another hour coming up.